So how did Ryanair successfully rage bait Elon Musk while coming off as the more likeable side, and how is their marketing strategy to annoy everyone, including their own customers, but then have their customers like them even more? We're going to break down their brand, marketing, and how they used it to wear down Elon Musk in a social media battle for free, beneficial advertising as their reward. And in the end, we'll discuss how you can do something similar while staying in your own brand's lane. For starters, I'm going to give you a very brief history of the two. In January 2026, Michael O'Leary, the CEO of Ryanair, announced that Ryanair would not be investing in SpaceX's Starlink product, citing a 2% fuel penalty due to drag increases. Musk responded on X, stating that O'Leary was misinformed. Musk was backed up by his vice president of Starlink engineering, who said that the company's analysis pointed to no more than a 0.3% fuel penalty for a Boeing 737-800. However, things turned really sour after O'Leary's comments during a radio station interview. Here's the clip for you.
I would pay no attention whatsoever to Elon Musk. He's an idiot. Very wealthy, but he's still an idiot. Musk knows about it. Flights and drag would be zero. We have to put an aerial antenna on top of the aircraft. It would cost us about $250 million a year. In other words, about an extra dollar for every passenger we fly. And the reality for us is we can't afford those costs. Passengers won't pay for internet usage. If it's free, they'll use it, but they won't pay €1 each to use the internet. So we're not putting on board.
Musk responded to this on X, calling O'Leary an utter idiot and stating that he should be fired, before suggesting that he would buy Ryanair and fire O'Leary himself. Ryanair's notoriously outspoken social media account also got in on the act, poking fun at Musk after his platform, X, suffered a widespread outage across the US. Musk, seemingly annoyed, responded to this with, "Should I buy Ryanair and put someone whose actual name is Ryan in charge?" Although airlines have historically recouped some of their performance penalties like Wi-Fi through paying passengers, modern carriers are increasingly offering onboard Wi-Fi as a complimentary service. Musk points out that Ryanair could stand to lose customers if rival airlines deliver a service that is in demand enough among travellers. O'Leary then hosted a press conference earlier this week where he tackled Elon Musk's comments, broke down why it was unwise to get Starlink, and took playful jabs, essentially thanking him for the free PR.
If we can prolong these we love these PR spats that drive bookings on Ryanair. The Starlink people believe that 90% of our passengers would happily pay for Wi-Fi access. Our experience sadly tells us we think less than 10% of our passengers pay for this access, and therefore we can't afford to shoulder costs of between 150 or 250 million a year. If Starlink wants to fit the flights, fit our aircraft and pay for the fuel drag, we'd happily put them on board. But the only way we see Starlink working on board our aircraft on short-haul flights is if you give it away for free. And like most things in life, if you give it away for free, passengers will use it. If you want passengers to pay something modest like €1, €2 or $3 on our average 1 hour 15-minute flights, we think less than 10%, and that's even optimistic, probably less than 5% of passengers will take this up.
Now we need to break down the brand purpose and the company's behaviours to give you a clear path between the brand and successful marketing, and how they got between the two. What is Ryanair's brand? Ryanair's brand is about being cheap and cheerful, being cheap and a penny pincher at your core, and in today's economy, that couldn't be more loved and accepted. This started off when the company was suffering due to decreasing profits, so Ryanair restructured in 1990, copying the low fares model of Southwest Airlines, after O'Leary, the CEO of Ryanair, and still the CEO today, visited the company. In 1994, O'Leary described the strategy as adopting a simple, all-Boeing 737 fleet, pursuing expansion over yield, and creating a cost-cutting culture, re-educating the customer to prefer low prices instead of frills or expenses. As a result, over the years, by following this model and implementing it into their culture, they have become an extremely successful brand who are identifiable. In order to be a successful brand, you have to consistently have your core purpose be impactful at every interaction. You have to have your employees genuinely aligned with it and believe in it. Your service or product has to be overlaid with it. Ryanair have done this to a T. This builds a trustworthy and identifiable brand where you know what experiences and benefits you're going to get. You know what you're buying into every time. This attracts an audience that wants to engage with your business and furthermore can become loyal and trusting advocates of your brand, refusing to switch over to others due to an attachment they have built with you, and going as far as to advocate for you in public or through word of mouth. Although this seems great for Ryanair, they did land themselves in a bit of trouble early on and risked throttling their expansion with how wild and extreme they were going about this in their marketing and business plans. And later on, how they adapted will show you how they became likeable and impactful. Remember, one of the ways for a brand to have a powerful and memorable experience is that it should affect you in every interaction that you have with the brand. Ryanair started by delivering the cheap part of their promise in a few different ways. The airline launched its website in 2000, with online booking initially said to be a small and unimportant part of the software supporting the site. However, increasingly, online booking contributed to the aim of cutting flight prices by selling directly to passengers and excluding the costs imposed by travel agents. Within a year, the website was handling 3/4 of all bookings. By December 2023, the website had hit 40 million monthly visits. In 2009, ancillary revenue, that is, income from sources other than ticket fares, was at €598 million, compared to the total revenue of €2.94 billion. In the same year, Ryanair abolished airport check-in and replaced it with a fast bag drop for those passengers checking in bags. The option of checking in at the airport for €10 has been discontinued, and all passengers are required to check in online and print their boarding passes. In 2009, the CEO then proposed measures to reduce frills further, suggesting eliminating 2 toilets to add 6 more seats, redesigning the aircraft to allow standing passengers, travelling in vertical seats, charging passengers for using the toilet, charging extra for overweight passengers, and asking passengers to carry their checked-in luggage to the aircraft. While the CEO, Michael O'Leary, initially claimed that charging passengers for toilets was going to happen, he stated days later that it was technically impossible and legally difficult, but made for interesting and very cheap PR. He also has later stated that this was purely PR and he was never going to implement this.
People laughed again, we have this dream that, we take out, say, 1/3 of the seats at the back of the aircraft and put a standing room-only cabin into it with handrails. And I think, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, all of those would be free. On Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays and Mondays, we'd guarantee you that the fare to stand would be €5. We have 3 toilets on board our aircraft. We have 189 passengers. The average sector time is about 1 hour 15 minutes. If we could get rid of 2 of the 3 toilets, we could put in 6 extra seats onto the aircraft. 6 extra seats would allow us to drop the average fare by 4% for every passenger on board. But we need fewer people queuing to go to the toilet. How do you get
And finally, the fact that the airline owns its own fleet when much of the competition leases has also been integral to its exponential growth, which most analysts feel will continue well into the next decade. New Ryanair aircraft have been delivered with non-reclining seats, no seat back pockets, safety cards stuck on the back of the seats, and life jackets stowed overhead rather than under the seat. This allows the airline to save on aircraft costs and enables faster cleaning and security checks during short turnaround times. Ryanair reportedly wanted to order its aircrafts without window shades, but the new aircraft do have them, as is required by the regulations of the Irish Aviation Authority. They also let passengers get on the plane via the stairs instead of airport tunnels, and that Ryanair fly mainly from point to point instead of having stops. As we can see, their brand and business behaviours clearly align, which tells the customer what to expect and tells their employees what to expect, giving them their selling point of having cheap and cheerful flights. However, this cheapness at times can come with a cost. During a thunderstorm, 3 Ryanair flights did a Mayday landing, requiring them to emergency land. This was due to them not having enough fuel to continue the trip, as the thunderstorm kept them in the air about an hour longer than expected, which also resulted in a legal case with a TV show over Ryanair being at fault, in which Ryanair lost and had to pay legal fees. These rules allow them to get the cheapest flights and give that benefit directly to the customer through cheaper prices. With Ryanair also doing mainly short flights, it eases the negatives of the flight, such as seating conditions, travel, and time spent in uncomfortable positions. This effectively maximises the highs that you feel over the journey and numbs the lows. And there is another way they numb the lows, that is through their marketing. As we have talked about just now, Ryanair uses their brand consistently across many avenues as possible, the cheap and cheerful dogma, and you may link the patterns of how they also use this dogma in their feud with Elon Musk to gain as much attention to their company as possible. Successful marketing, especially written word, which is commonly seen on Ryanair's Twitter, comes from a few principles: emotional influence, statistics, keeping in line with regulations, understanding your audience, and understanding your brand. Ryanair, when first marketing, started out with outlandish and wild adverts to quickly catch attention in a PC era without spending much money. They increased their reach and publicity with these ads. However, their favourability decreased in part. A survey rated Ryanair and Vueling equally the worst in the world for customer service among the short-haul carriers in the Which survey. Later on, a key decision was made to get customers to like them by being more attuned to their needs and responses to ads, but still keeping their brand, which led to a cheeky tone and playful quips that still showed respect for their audience and kept in line with advertising regulations. This was the start of their social media marketing era. As we've seen previously, the ads and communication of Ryanair were meant to annoy everyone while creating a buzz about the company, in hopes that their cheapness would light up the eyes of potential customers. Inevitably, O'Leary learned a hard lesson, realising that making customers happy was the key, and that the revenue grew as a result, showing his previous beliefs were wrong.
In airline terms in the last 18 months, we started being nice to customers. This is not something that comes easy to the airline industry. It's not something that comes easy to somebody who was educated in Clongowes or went to Trinity. Being nice to people, being humble about it really is a daily challenge that we face on a daily basis. Thankfully, however, as a result of this dramatic and revolutionary strategy of combining very low prices with really good service and being nice to people and caring about the environment and your children and all the rest of it, our forward bookings are rising, our traffic is rising, and our profitability is rising.
We can really see that a key turning point was aligning the brand with the consumers and no longer seeing them as an enemy or someone to insult during their communication or marketing. After they brought in Lily Rafferty, Ryanair's now former social media content creator, she came up with a simple strategy: to keep up with popular trends and make them on brand with the company while using Gen Z humour to connect with their young audience. Marketing switched from wild, somewhat misleading ads to a range of social media posts across Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. On TikTok, they started to see a huge amount of success playing about with the meme of the large eyes and lips, with capybaras, which are also popular among Gen Z.
W capybara ugly. Stop. Capybara no ugly. Capybara cool. Capybara smart. Capybara hero. Capybara beautiful. Capybara hot. Capybara love you. And no forget. Cappy slide.
The sound they picked was not popular with only 550 videos on it. It ended up getting 2.8 million views and high interactions, with about 22% of people seeing the video, liking it, sharing it, bookmarking it, commenting on it. For a difference, on Twitter we can see that they changed their tone, using harsh, quick-witted insults or clapbacks to their audience without degrading them or being as rude as they once were. Their response got almost 560,000 likes. Here they made someone who was upset at their cheapness into a joke without being disrespectful. Here they go viral again with 244,000 likes. And as we can see, they were able to numb a low that someone else felt, something we previously talked about, and they were able to do it through successful, friendly, on-brand marketing. Their Instagram style is slightly different, with much more friendlier, millennial style posts, which represents their type of audience on there. So as we can conclude, they balance each platform's user base and regulations very well. On TikTok, they opt for a more chaotic, fun approach with trends and short-form content. Instagram is much more friendly and for families. Twitter is scorching, with replies tiptoeing the line between funny and offensive. Their head of social media, Michael Corcoran, had clear advice for how brands can grow like Ryanair have. He wanted them to approach their accounts as creators rather than brands, and to find their niche with a marketing strategy. That marketing strategy should go beyond video views. Companies must read comments and understand how and why people interact with their content, and that replying is crucial. From this, we can see that their niche was Gen Z and younger millennials, that they targeted with bold ad campaigns surrounded by Gen Z humour, which is more self-deprecating, chaotic and ironic. By hiring a charismatic social media manager and marketers that aligned with the brand, they were able to make authentic viral posts, which has boosted their positive engagement a ton. This was the key strategy used on Twitter, one that worked wildly in their favour against Elon Musk. As we have seen previously, their CEO, O'Leary, enjoys to rile up people and loves to boost his business's growth. So after him and Musk disagreed about overhead costs of the Starlink satellites, he was quickly able to twist it into an insult towards Musk, knowing he would bite with intense anguish. Musk then threw insults and digs at Ryanair on Twitter. Remember, as we have spoken about before, this falls into Ryanair's benefit due to their social media quips, the guidelines of the social media app X, and their revised brand communication. This led to a smart amount of insults where they could be as crude as Musk had been, while still gaining favourability over the audience watching. This back and forth eventually led to a press conference with O'Leary, which was besides humorous, informative, breaking down the key difficulties and their principles, showing why Starlink implementation didn't align with Ryanair. This added salt to the wound of Musk, as once the economics had been explained in a charismatic and reasonable manner, more people understood Ryanair's perspective, not just as a hilarious organisation, but one that also needed to apply strict principles and checks to benefit their customer group. They then finally followed up the insults with a post of O'Leary and Musk in a promotional deal, using that extra engagement as a way to get more revenue and conversions, which is now clearly advertised on their site. As we have hammered on, the evolution of Ryanair's marketing to grow more friendly while maintaining its brand by hiring the right people who were charismatic and understood the philosophy they were working under. This led to an amazing growth within the brand and a knockout goal against Elon Musk, as they were well equipped to drag out the social media argument with quick quips, an intelligent breakdown and an advertising campaign while keeping their customer base happy. If you're looking to take advice on this for your own business, I would look at your business's purpose and vision and see how you resonate with it, see how your employees resonate with it, and drive home the importance of expressing that from within themselves. Don't do things that disrupt your brand and its image, as that can be seen as tacky, odd, or out of place. Take a look at this tweet from the Academy Awards. The more authentic your brand becomes to you, your business, and your employees, the more people will be attracted to interacting and staying with your brand. Thank you for watching.